Hello, people. Today I am Anurag Bhatt and I have with me Kate Lockhart, and we are outside Crescent Park building apartments. And this is the place of our intervention for our human behavior and energy consumption course. Our intervention, just to remind you all, is to enable this apartment complex, this nice, seemingly nice looking apartment complex, which does not have recycling facilities. What we have to do right now is to gather the recycling on our own and to sneak it to that recycling dumpster. If you can see it, it's right there. I'll show you. I'll try to make it better in some time to give you a closer look. But we have with us right now Kate. And Kate, is it okay if I ask you a couple questions about recycling?
Yep.
So do you recycle locally or within your apartment complex?
So I do not, because technically the recycling that is close to us belongs to the other complex. So we have to either use that or we have to drive it to the recycling center here in the city. And we go through, I live with two other adults and we also have pets, which means that there's just a lot of accumulated waste. So we take out trash every couple days. And so for us, it's just really hard to make that trip, as well as the apartments are small enough that we don't have space to store recycling. Because even when you rinse out and properly sort your recycling, that takes up a lot of space when you don't have a facility close by. So currently we are not recycling, even though we used to at our old complex.
Have you had any other upkeep or maintenance issues, or have you been able to track the administration down if you had some sort of issue that you wanted sorted out, or how responsive have they been with any sort of issues that you've had in the past?
Yeah, I feel like in general, they haven't really wanted to implement new programs for the community. It's hard too with our complex because there's the internal complex control, which is the management company of the apartment, and then there is also the outdoor one, which is ran by an HOA, and HOAs can be very hard to sway, interact with, and we actually have no contact with them whatsoever. So that makes it even more difficult because it's just kind of out of our hands from the management perspective of the apartments themselves.
So what would be something that would motivate you better to do recycling in your own apartment, to sort the recycling waste? And if there was a recycling dumpster right in our apartment, would it make it easier for you, or would it? And my second question is, would it make you more of an active participant in your community, where you would want your partner or your roommates to encourage them to do more recycling? Would it help?
Oh, for sure. So both my partner and my roommate, we've all lived in complexes and places where recycling was there previous. So our natural inclination is to wash something out and put it in the recycling bin to then be taken out later to the main recycling. So it's actually been a lot more awkward living here and having more waste. It's really hard to contextualize how much waste you have that could be recycling until it's all bundled together. Like I said, now we're taking our trash out sometimes every other day if we cook 3 meals, each day. And that's a lot. There's a lot of packaging nowadays. There's lots of plastics used to contain almost anything beverage-wise. And so our trash just gets so full because we can't separate out the recycling from the organic. I also really would love to have a compost program because there is the farm. That's the IU farm is 2 blocks from us. It's actually off in the distance that way. And so it's really interesting how much today we modern wise just have so much, where if we had that separation, I don't even think we'd have to have trash pickup as often, because those would be removed from one another, and we have the space for them. There is the space in these lots for even a single recycling dumpster that all of these buildings would share. So yeah, definitely the amount motivates me to want, if we had those facilities, to be participating in using them.
And my last question, that is what our professor asks and sort of has motivated me to ask everyone. What do you think can make this change? How can we approach people better with these problems? You don't have to have a solid answer to it, but
for sure. I mean, so I used to be in education and an educator, and I think that it's a lack of education where we just don't realize how many products we buy from the store that actually could be recycled just with a quick rinse. You know, all of your yogurt containers, all of your like any cardboard, like your cereal boxes, you know, the majority of that packaging is recyclable. And so if we had a facility and correct messaging for the community on both the recycling device, so like the main container, or if we even also had like a handout that went to each new neighbor as they moved in of like, hey, or a little magnet like, welcome to the community, here's where you can recycle these items, these are safe for our recycling, you know, and kind of give those metrics.
These were some really great points. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Kate.
you're welcome.
And
Thanks
Kate is
again.
a very responsible citizen, and thank you for contributing to our project.
pleasure,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Go.
Hello, we have another set of residents from Crescent Park with us today. Would you mind saying your names, please?
I'm Edward Strandberg. And I'm Justin Almond.
Edward and Justin, they are also two residents and aware residents who have been facing the problem of not being able to recycle their waste within our luxurious Crescent Park apartments. And we spoke to Kate right before this, and as Kate said, this problem has been ongoing for quite some time now. So would you guys like to tell me something about the recycling issue that you have been facing within your apartment?
Yeah, absolutely. So, to kind of give some background, we have lived in apartments for a while, and different apartments have the ability to recycle, you know, at the apartment, which leads us to not have to look for other resources. When we moved here, we were kind of sad to see that they weren't recycling here at the location. So, our overall waste has gone up. You know, we have more bags of trash than we're used to.
Yes.
In addition to that, you know, we weren't given any sort of resource on like where to find it. So the burden on finding recycling resources is also on the residents here, which obviously affects adoption. So yeah, we've been really looking for a way to get more active in recycle.
Would it make it easier if we had a recycling dumpster, just one within our apartment complex? Our apartment complex does have like 4 bigger trash containers for each of the apartment buildings. We have 4 of them.
Yeah.
Would it make it even easier to just have one recycling dumpster for all of our apartment?
Yeah, definitely. It'd make it easily accessible, and it's right there, so everybody knows it's there. And you know, if everyone has like a process, like clear bags and stuff, like it'd make it immensely easier.
What would make it more easier for the new residents or someone who may not be very used to recycling in their earlier apartments, if someone has been presented with the opportunity of, hey, we have a recycling dumpster here, what would make it easier for these people? You don't need to have a concrete answer for it, but in your own sense, what do you think could have made easier? As Kate, one of our earlier correspondents said, like something as a welcome to the neighborhood package, this is what we do, these are the rules, something of those lines maybe, or something else if you are in mind.
Yeah, maybe like providing 2 trash bins for each apartment, one specifically for recycling, and maybe some like sample bags of what to use. Like, hey, here's like 2 or 3 clear plastic bags for the recycling, and then just some trash bags for the trash bag.
Yeah, that and just some sort of media, like some educational material, right?
Yeah, these are really helpful things that could motivate our new residents. But thank you so much for talking with me today, and I want to thank you from all of our class. It's human behavior and energy consumption. It's taught at SPIA. We have a great instructor called Shazareen Atari, and she's doing a lot of great work in motivating people to be mindful of their energy consumption. Thank you so much for speaking with me today, and thank you for being aware residents of Crescent Park. Thank you so much.
Just to give you a perspective on the problem, the trash cans right now are here, and here, while the recycling dumpster, which does not happen to be within this apartment complex, happens to be right across this road here. So, this itself creates a hurdle for the residents in order to participate in recycling activities.